it's really funny to think about just like people our age being parents.
I know. There's only a few friends of ours and just people I know that have kids, and I'm like, how? Like, I couldn't imagine right now having a kid. Fuck. Like, my cats are enough to handle. They drive me up the wall, and I love them to death. But I couldn't imagine having a child right now. And I'm not saying I wouldn't love it. Like, if I had a child, I'm just not ready for one.
Right.
I can't even get my life together half the time. But
I feel that.
It's just weird. It's going to be weird when we finally get into a part where all of us kind of have kids. And it's going to be like, it's going to be exciting but strange.
I know.
Like, how will we all be? I think we'll be great parents. I think a lot of us will be.
I think so. I think the biggest struggle for us will be, do you raise your kid as you were raised with almost no screen time, all outside, all interactive, or do you blend, or do you cave in and give them?
It's not even caving in. I think if you asked me a year or two ago, I'd be like, well, my kids aren't going to spend a lot of time in technology. It's not good for them. But now I'm like, dude, like, look at this podcast. You know how much technology we need to do this? Like, we need like laptops and cords and microphones, and you have to know software and different things like that. If our kids want to develop in the world we're putting them into, they need to know this. Obviously, you need to promote being outside and doing activities, but I think equally they need to know how to work technology, and they need time on it.
Well, what do you mean? Like, a 2-year-old can open up YouTube and find the videos that they want
because their parents let them play with it. I'm saying, but like, you need to let your kid do that. Yeah. Your kids need to learn how to use all that stuff.
Yeah, exactly.
They do. Like, you can be a hippie if you want and tell them not to, but you're setting them back, because if they decide they don't want to live a lifestyle where they're around that much technology and they want to do something else, good. But don't set them up for failure by not letting them have the experience. Yeah,
for sure. I don't know, like, I didn't really think about having kids until recently because I was so scared. And I realize now that it was a fear of everything, a fear of birth, fear of... It's just such a scary thing. Like, what happens to your vagina after? I don't want to know. No. And the thing that goes in your back.
Epidural.
Yes.
The thing I was like, what the fuck do you think birth is? I was very confused for a second.
I used to joke and say, okay, I'll have kids when it can grow outside of my body.
Fuck. Like in a test tube?
In a little incubator. And I can watch it grow. Like,
dude, that's fucking creepy.
I don't want it to come out of me.
Oh my god.
But like, I think I could be okay. I've only held one baby that was new.
Just adopt. That's what I want to do.
But then no, I can't, because you see too many things of this, like, the genes, you don't know where they're coming from, nature versus nurture. And did you see that one where the 30-year-old woman who had this deficiency, so she looked like a 6-year-old.
Yeah, she conned her. I saw that. Yeah.
Yeah, and then she got adopted, and then she tried to kill them.
Okay, that's a very radical, extreme version of an...
I live my life in extremes.
That is not the norm. That's an exception, first of all.
It's too scary. Second of all,
you can birth a baby and it be a psychopath and murder you as well.
But, honest, like, I don't know. It would be... Like, I'm not a psychopath. My boyfriend's hopefully not a psychopath.
But is nature versus nurture actually, like, what do you lie on more the nature side or the nurture side?
I think it's a mixture of both. You could argue either way, because are my parents raising me similar to the way that their parents raised them? If I look at it, no. But as I grow up, more things slip into my life, into my personality, and to just me as a person. That is my mom or my dad. Yeah. I am almost probably 98% my mom when I talk, when I do anything. And it gets more and more every day.
So you'd say that's nurture or nature?
I would say that's nature. I think I think even if I was grown up in a different... If I was adopted, say, I would still be this way. Like, it's just things that are a part of you.
Yeah, I think it's hard. I think obviously you can teach people to do a lot of things. I think nurture is a lot of things that you can nurture people to be harder workers and different things, but I don't think you could ever nurture people to be nice, to have, there's a lot of things like kindness, things like that you can't always teach people, or it's kind of just like a thing you're born.
Yeah, like
obviously you can show people how to be nice, and it will be like, it will help and maybe enhance it, and I'm sure you can raise people to be nicer, but I don't think you can raise someone to be nice if they weren't meant to be nice.
Yeah,
I think, I don't know.
That's a good way of looking at it. I don't know, there's a lot of things that just pop up, and because all the kids say, oh, I'm not going to be like my parents, but like I have no reason to say that because my parents are awesome. But
I think some people aren't, though. Like there's two routes. Like when people are born in like a crack addict house and their parents are,
and then they come out of it, and
they come out of it and they're doctors or lawyers, or they're just not even if they didn't become professionally successful in a career that way, at least they're clean and they're not. Like there's some people who decide, no, I don't want to be like my parents, and there's some people who just go towards, because history does repeat itself unless you break it.
Yeah, that's right.
That's what I believe, right?
There's I don't know, it's very interesting. I think it's kind of both, and they weigh
I think we'll always be both a little bit.
Yeah, always.
Yeah.
But
like pit bulls, for example, like they are naturally a more aggressive dog, but if you train the dog properly and actually take care of it and respect it, it's not going to be as very aggressive.
I don't think they're naturally aggressive. I think
aren't they more naturally aggressive than other dogs, just because aren't they bred to fight and stuff like that?
Well, they're original. I'm not sure what they were originally bred for, but they were made into fighting dogs. It's not their fault. Like
no, but they were bred. Now their nature is like that because they're bred into that.
But they're the most loving dogs. Oh,
we lived next door to a pit bull. I've never had problems with pit bulls. I think it's crazy that people have labeled the dog.
Yeah, what I'm saying is like, I don't think it's in their nature, but I think that they're
human-produced nature kind of thing, like man-made.
If you take a puppy from a fighting dog, like that puppy is not going to be a good fighting dog unless they lock it in a closet or torture it or do whatever they do to make that dog whatever. You know what I mean? Pit bull is a one-master dog. They need one strong alpha, and they'll follow it loyally. But if that alpha like is aggressive towards it, puts it in a closet and locks it in there for days, doesn't feed it, and then puts it into a ring and tells it to kill this dog, and then they get all that energy, like...
Yeah, well, that's a lot of animals, so if you give them terrible energy, they're gonna...
Exactly. So it's... But that puppy, if you take that puppy from that extremely aggressive dog that was made that way, that puppy doesn't have the aggression bred into it. No. Do you know what I mean? It's got personality.
So. Yeah, no, I get what you're saying. Yeah.
I don't know. I'm not an expert.
No, we're not experts on anything. This one's called Unaccompanied
Millennials.
Exactly. We were trying to figure shit out with you. That's why we keep saying, if you fucking know something we don't, or we say something that's wrong, just let us know.
Yeah, but please be nice about it. Like, we're not...
We've already been attacked once.
Really?
What, by that one random person through Instagram? It wasn't like attacked mean, it was like a weird attack.
Yeah, well, he's said that we sound cute, so SOS.
But it was like a really weird channel. It was like a nude cartoon channel.
So that wasn't an attack. That was a predator.
Worker just did like a reel it in like hand motion at the same time.
So anyways, we get on tangents.
Sometimes.
I think that millennials will be great parents because we're very accepting to things, and I hope our kids won't feel like they need to hide anything from us, because anything that they could think of doing, I've probably already done it. Or
we're way more open-minded too. Like, I'm not saying the whole generation of our parents isn't open-minded, but a lot of them are very stubborn, and a lot of them have grown to understand, and they're trying. Yeah, but there are, and obviously there's gonna be people in our generation who are stuck in ways which I'm like, what the fuck? Like, where have you been living? Under a fucking rock? Well, yeah, it depends. Some people, but
it's upsetting.
Like, when I see people like commenting on videos saying, "Oh, you're ugly, you're fat," things like that, I'm just like, what?
Who says that?
What are you doing? Is this a movie? Because you know in movies when you see people bullying people, and you're like, that is not real. No one does that in fucking real life. Yeah. They do through fucking comment sections on videos.
Oh my gosh.
They do. It's like the most vicious thing ever. These poor people. Like, there's no need to just say that.
No, there's no need for any of
Yeah,
that.
you're right, you're ugly, blah, 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 or this, or like they're just, I'm like, what the fuck? Just because you're behind a screen, like, this person's getting 100,000 of these a day, that's detrimental to some people's health, like, mental health, especially younger people. Holy fuck.
I know.
Like, if we get big enough that's what's happening, come at me. I'm gonna start punching people through the fucking comment section.
Take that.
Punch emoji, punch emoji.
I'm not even gonna read I don't have time to read comments like that, but
No.
I don't know. It's just, I'm really excited for the generation that we get to parent, but I'm also very scared for it because if people are already this hostile over,
I'm also very nervous about bake sales. What the fuck do you bring to it? Fresh
banana
fruit
bread.
kebabs? I don't.
Oh, gluten, dairy.
You can't have gluten.
Shit.
You can't have nuts. You can't have dairy. By the time we get there, there'll be no preservatives or anything. Sugar,
no bake sales.
Nothing.
There'll be no bake
There
sales.
will not be. I have a prediction that there will not be bake sales by the time we are parents, because you cannot trust people's. You don't. There's no bake sale because at that point it'll be like, no one actually.
Garage
just
sale.
You're not allowed to bring food into the school.
Yeah. How do you eat? How do the kids eat?
They'll be like
Through a
made
tube?
for them, or they can eat their own food, but you're not allowed to share or something like that. Like, for sure, it's because every time we take a step forward, things like that, like, oh, no nuts, oh, no gluten. I get it, people are just nuts, especially at a younger age.
There was kids allergic to nuts in my school, and I brought peanut butter almost every day.
But at the same time, you start getting more specific, like no gluten. Okay, like, no one's gonna be sitting across a room and smell the gluten and have a reaction. At least I don't think there is.
I know my boyfriend's ex, he said that she had a gluten allergy, and if he had eaten something like pizza that was a normal pizza and then kissed her, like, it would hurt her internal, like, she would get sick.
Are you sure?
Yeah,
or is she just saying that to, like,
I don't know. But that's what he said, and I believe it.
Really?
Kind of. Yeah, like, just like a fish allergy.
Airborne though, for gluten. I'm sure some are. Like, I know peanuts, like, candy,
and fish.
the smell of it and stuff could, but can you really have an airborne gluten allergy?
I don't know.
Let us know.
It's not airborne, like, it's on the lips, right? Like, he said.
Yeah, but I don't know. I'm just saying you can't. But by the end of it, there's one kid in the school with a kiwi allergy, and no one's allowed fucking kiwi. You know what I mean? Like, it just keeps progressing,
honestly,
to the point where eventually it's just getting more and more and more and more strict. Because once you allow one rule to slip, people are like, well, what about me? I'm allergic to orange juice, and then your kids aren't allowed to bring orange juice. Like, you know what I mean? It just keeps. Yeah, it just keeps progressing.
It gets excessive.
There's no, because the line just keeps getting pushed.
But what is creating all of these allergies? Like, I'm concerned.
They were always there. People just, I have an allergy. Oh, I deal with it. Now I have an allergy, so y'all have to deal with it. Don't bring anything.
That's right. Yeah.
I think.
See,
or people are having more allergy, or people are realizing they have allergies because they're getting tested before it wasn't a thing, and people just knew something made them sick, or they just didn't realize that thing was making them sick.
That was me. For the longest time, I would anything like bread, dairy. I wasn't sure what it was. So then finally I went to a naturopath because none of the doctors believed me. They're like, well, just keep a food journal and tell me what makes you sick. Okay, everything. Like, everything makes me feel sick, and my stomach would just not be okay. So I went to a naturopath and did a bunch of tests, and the guy, first you had to bring in like a little cup of your urine. They did a little pH test or some sort of acidity test, I don't know. And then they would swab your mouth and take a prick of blood. And you could see your blood up on the screen on a microscope. It was super cool. And they took a heat picture of my body.
Yes, you told me.
Yeah, so he walks in and he looks at the pictures before he even talks to me. No idea what's happening, doesn't see any of the other tests. Comes in, you have a gut problem, don't you? I'm like, yes, please help me. Yeah, so it turns out I had this thing called leaky gut, and no medical professional acknowledges it because it's something that can be fixed through just taking things out of your diet and healing your gut.
If they can't prescribe a pill.
That's right. Exactly.
Don't get me started.
For years and years, I was going to my doctor saying, like every time immediately after eating a meal, I would have to get up and go to the washroom. That's no way to live your life.
No.
So then I fixed my leaky gut, and like it's a whole other life. And who's Dr. Martin? We're not he's not a promo or anything, but he's great. He's from Sudbury, Ontario. Like, if you have any sort of health issues, go look him up. He literally saved my life.
Your whole body glows up when you go in there. Me, just
he'd be like, SOS.
SOS.
No.
He's like, so you have a full body problem.
No, but it's so, and because my sinuses, I've always had sinus issues. My sinuses lit up and my gut lit up. And he's like, oh, this is the problem.
Jeez,
because the leaky gut was sending yeast through my body, and it would fill up or like get stuck in certain areas of my body. Wow. It's really weird. Yeah,
that's crazy.
Yeah,
so I just don't think people were aware. I think that's a constant thing, is we're constantly becoming more aware of everything, which brings us to come up with answers and conclusions, and like, how do we fix this? So it just makes things more and more and more strict. Think of all the new laws being passed constantly, right? Like, they weren't there 10 years ago. And people say, well, people still did this 10 years ago. Well, yeah, but now they finally, like, it's just constantly, things are kind of, which is a good thing. Like, we're progressing, but at the same time, some things it's just like,
it's
excessive.
Like,
it's a little excessive. Like, I get we're trying to go for the greater good of everyone, but at the same time,
are we gonna have to have like 5 different lunchrooms? One for gluten-free, one for peanut-free, one for nut-free, one for egg-free. I don't even know what the different...
It might, like, who knows, right? By the next 10 years when our kids are going to school, or if we even have kids, but in 15 years.
Yeah.
Everyone's having kids later and later now, so who even knows by the time everyone starts having kids? And we're going to have even less kids than any other generation.
Yeah.
It's going to keep just getting less and less. I can't see anyone having more than 2 or 3 at the most.
I know, like 2 would be
like back
perfect.
in the day, it was like 12 kids of
my dad
family,
was the
5,
youngest of 8.
4.
Yeah.
That's crazy. That's too much. If I'm having more than 2 kids, it's because I've adopted. I'm serious.
Honestly.
I love it, the fact of adopting. Like, there's so many kids out there that need a home and need a place, and that they don't have, they're going to be stuck in a system of foster care. Why would, if anyone can afford it and has an open heart, like, I could love my adopted child this exact same as like my own blood child, and I know that already because I love my cats so fucking much, and I definitely didn't push them out. So
yeah, what's that one movie?
Instant Family.
Yeah,
I love it. I watched it 6
good.
times over and over again. I watch it. I love that movie.
So good.
So funny.
It is. It makes me cry in multiple places.
Good. I know.
It's so good.
And they love those kids the same amount as they would love their own children.
Exactly.
Like, blood. Like, I don't, but I've always been a big believer at that, for me at least, that blood is not superior to how the people in my life, like, are closer to people who aren't blood than my own blood in a lot of cases.
Yes, I feel that as well.
Yeah.
When I'm pretty
family
oriented.
You are, and with your blood family, because you have a great
close.
family.
Yeah.
But some people aren't. Just
exactly.
Like, so.
Pretty exciting.